Hello and welcome to D-Gamer back again, and today I thought I would show off my Sega Saturn collection. But it is official that my Sega Saturn has finally decided that it no longer wants to read discs. So I can actually look at the menu screen. I can even check my memory card, but it will not read a game disc. So I have an entire collection for the system that I can pull out and look at, I guess. My Saturn collection isn't the greatest collection of Saturn games ever. I have a decent collection. Some of the games I picked up just because they were a Saturn game, and some of these games I didn't realize I had, oddly enough. So I guess with no further ado, here is my Sega Saturn collection. I'll start with my disc-only copy games. So, collector purist, please avert thine eyes. I have Nights into Dreams. Disc-only, yes, no case, but I don't care, I still have the game. Legend of Oasis. Great little Zelda type, you know, Beyond Oasis, the sequel to it. Astal. Again, no case, but, you know. Oh, here's a true classic. Madden 97. I know, everyone is jealous that I have Madden 97 on the Sega Saturn, and you don't. Daytona USA. Daytona! Virtua Cop, but I do not have the light gun for the Saturn, but I still like playing the game with the controller. Don't ask me why. Virtua Fighter Remix, a better graphical version of the original Virtua Fighter. Gettin War. A friend picked that up for me for like $8 at like a Game Crazy or some game store somewhere. Interesting little first-person vehicle shooter. It's not exactly a first-person shooter, but it's not exactly not. Then I have Marvel's Superheroes. I actually printed out this case, and then I had an extra case for X-Men vs. Street Fighter for the PlayStation for some reason. So I just I don't even have X-Men vs. Street Fighter on the PlayStation. I wish I had it on the Saturn. But, so instead I have the X-Men vs. Street Fighter PlayStation insert with the Saturn game. Don't ask me why, but so I printed out a little Sega Saturn case. Right, and I haven't gotten very far into the import scene on the Saturn, but I do have one import game. Fighter's Megamix, because the American version was a lot more expensive than the Japanese version for some reason. Alright, I think that is all of my disc-only games. I also have the official Saturn memory card and the Action Replay Plus. Oh, it would be helpful if I actually showed that to the camera. And I actually have another controller too, but I couldn't find it. My gaming room, or YouTube office as I call it, is a complete and utter mess. So for my big box games, I don't think I've played this one. Shockwave Assault. Some of these I think my brother sent me because he got off of eBay in game lots, and so he just gave them to me. Got Midway Arcade's Greatest Hits, which I don't think I've played that one, but I have Midway Arcade Treasures on the PS2, and I'm pretty sure it has all those games on it too. Maybe not Defender 2, I wonder. Or Sinistar it does. I don't know. Anyway, I have NBA Live 97 in a Virtua Racing case. Explain that one to me, I don't know. Alright, I have High Velocity Mountain Racing Challenge, which I think I actually have played. And look, it's published by Atlas. Interesting. Very interesting. I have Virtua Racing, which I actually showed in the comparison video I made of the Genesis version, the 32X version, and the Saturn version. Let's see. Off-World Interceptor Extreme. Yeah, this one, I got my Saturn, my brother brought it home for me. He was in the Navy at the time, and he found it at a thrift store with a bunch of games, so... And in there was this game, which is incredibly entertaining to watch the cutscenes of, and kind of a mediocre game in and of itself. Virtual Casino! I haven't played this game, so yeah. NHL 97. Jealous. I know. Let's see. Clockwork Night. I like this game. Not the greatest platformer ever. Sega Rally. Classic. Deceptive depth. The depth in this game is more in learning the courses and how to play through them, as opposed to just like in-depth racing depth. I don't know. It's an arcade game, but it's one of those that it gets more depth as you learn how to play through all the courses and how to do it. I just repeated myself, I realize. I have World Cup Golf Professional Edition. I have never played this game. Let's see. Oh, look. Virtual On. I first played this at Sears, where they had these Saturn demo stations, and they had a demo disc in their Saturn. It had Virtual On, 3 Dirty Dwarfs, a few other games, but... Oh, and look, I have Virtual On. Let's see, NBA Jam Extreme, not really a great version of NBA Jam. I like the old school versions better, way better. Let's see. Diehard Trilogy. I posted the Saturn version in a comparison to the PS1 version, and PS1 version I think is a little better than the Saturn version. Saturn version's not bad. Let's see. The Need for Speed. A series that has definitely improved a lot over the years. I don't think I've played this one that much. The original so much, but let's see. I have Sega... No, I'm just kidding. It's actually Duke Nukem 3D on the Saturn. I don't have the book, but I have the case. So, actually, I really like this port of Duke. That's the one I've owned for years. Have the Horde. An interesting little strategy game with Kirk Cameron. Black Dawn, which is like a helicopter shooter game. What's the other one? I think it's made by the same people who made Agile Warrior or something on the PS1, which I own. Battle Arena Toshinden Remix. How was it remixed? I don't know. I have an old issue of Game Players magazine where they said Battle Arena Toshinden is the greatest fighting game ever made, and they compared it to Virtua Fighter and said it was better than Virtua Fighter. To which case I say, go back and play both of them. One is still playable, and the other one is Battle Arena Toshinden. Quake. When I picked this one up from Game Crazy years ago, the guy at the counter was like, "You want the Saturn version?" I was like, "Yeah." Don't you love how sometimes you have to justify your purchases to video game store employees who don't know anything? I had a similar situation when I bought 3D Dot Game Heroes because I took back the copy of Halo ODST that I had bought that didn't work. It's like, this looks like the worst game ever, looking at the box art. But anyway, so I have Daytona USA in the actual case. Great game. I kind of wish I had the, what was it, the Championship Edition or the Special Edition version. I have Decathlete, which I don't think I've played. Dark Light Conflict. Heck yeah! I haven't played this game either. Let's see. Saving some of the better ones for last. Well, the 3 or 4 decent games I have. Soviet Strike. Soviet Strike. Strike series, great series. Let's see. Virtua Fighter 2. Great game. I don't know how much it is nowadays, but if you're collecting for the Saturn and want something that's affordable but still good, a lot of depth here. Virtua Fighter 2, it's become one of my favorite fighting games of that entire generation. And I played it actually after I already played Tekken 3 and thought Tekken was like the best thing ever. But then I played Virtua Fighter and realized how much Tekken borrowed and didn't... I never gave it that much credit for some reason. The Last Bronx. One of Sega's other... It's a weapons-based fighting game, but not like... certainly not the depth of Soul Blade. Myst. Admit it, if you're going to spend all the money on a Saturn and all the games and stuff, you totally want a copy of Myst in your collection. I'm being facetious. I'm being sarcastic. And look, it looks like I have another copy of Virtua Fighter 2. You can never have too many, right? That and Virtual On. Let's see. Oh, yes. NHL 97. I actually bought this like new off of some kid in high school. It was factory sealed, and then I took the case and then took my broken Virtua Fighter 2 case and I swapped them out, and yeah, totally made like a masking tape case. Don't ask me what the logic behind that one was. Let's see. Fighting Vipers. Love this game. Great game. Like I said, Bloody Roar in my Bloody Roar review borrowed a lot of its gameplay mechanics from this. So I hadn't played this at the time, so I thought Bloody Roar was completely original and is like nothing else I'd played before until I played this one. But still a great game. And then you have Fighting Vipers versus Virtua Fighter, and then you get Fighters Megamix. Let's see. Aha. Gun Griffon. Awesome mech strategy game. Open field battle type game where they just give you an open field and some objectives to complete. Strange controls, definitely, but you get used to them. To the point where Griffon Blaze, I actually played it under the classic controls, the PS2 launch game. Right, let's see. Oh, Heir of Zander, some interesting little strategy type game. I paid $1 for it, factory sealed online. But I haven't played too far into it, but it was worth the $1 I paid. And now the last four. Like I said, my Saturn collection isn't the greatest, but, you know, still glad to have these last four here. Panzer Dragoon. I bought from Game Crazy, actually, as they were clearing their stock of all their retro games and stuff. When they first started, actually. They had this, and I was glad to get that. Panzer Dragoon Zoe. Dragoon 2 Zoe. I'd love to have Saga, but unfortunately I just have the first two and Horde. But hey, I love this one too. I think this is my favorite that I've played, easily. I've got 3 Dirty Dwarves. I believe I paid like $20 for this, like 10 years ago online, and then someone told me it's up to like $200 or $300 online. Who knew? This was one of the games I played in that demo discs at Sears, and I really liked it then, and so I picked it up whenever I could. And then last but not least, the only, I don't want to say Uber game, but one of the best games that I own is Guardian Heroes. Possibly the worst box art in video game history. Well, not the worst. There's no Fabio on the cover, but one of the worst. But anyway, and that appears to be my entire Sega Saturn collection. Again, not the greatest, but not bad either. I mean, I got some good ones. I got Guardian Heroes, I got Panzer Dragoon, Saga, Virtua Fighter 2 Classic, Last Bronx, Fighting Vipers. Can't go wrong with any of those. All of a sudden I'm Canadian or from Minnesota. Daytona Classic. The Horde is actually, if you find this anywhere, it's actually a really good game you should look into. Diehard Trilogy. Virtual On. Crazy controls. Well, that's about it. This video isn't that long, but then again, that's because my Saturn collection isn't that big. And collecting for it is so incredibly expensive, it may never grow again. But as far as my broken Saturn, anyone who collects for the Saturn already knows that one of the cheapest things to pick up for the Saturn collector is the Saturn itself. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. I'm, of course, going to hold on to it. Maybe it can just be repaired. Could be something small. But, and then maybe I'll look into some more imports. Maybe find some of the cheaper ones. Again, I forget what the American version of Fighters Megamix cost. I just know the Japanese version was a lot cheaper. So, with that, again, not the greatest, but not bad at all. This is my Sega Saturn Collection. Now, hopefully I can get a working system, then I can put up some videos and maybe do some reviews on the system. But for now, I can just look at the cases. Beautiful Cardinieros. I love you. Anyway, sorry. 2D Gamer signing out. My Sega Saturn Collection and my Nokia Engage t-shirt. You wish you had an Engage t-shirt. Come on.